Hello, all my beautiful Scorpios, and welcome to your reading. So, this is going to be our July 2020 predictions video. And we're going to go ahead and see what the month of July has in store for you guys. Okay. So, whether you are a Scorpio or if you have Scorpio in your sun, moon, rising, then this message is going to be for you. Okay. So, I've already gone ahead and shuffled the cards. We're going to start with your tarot cards, and then we will go ahead and go through your oracle cards together. Okay, so if you are brand new to the channel, hi and welcome. My name is Alyssa, and on my channel, I enjoy making tarot pick-a-card readings and tarot readings like this. So if you enjoyed today's video, I hope that you consider subscribing and you like the video if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see future videos like this in the future, okay? So we are going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start with your tarot cards, and we're going to see what messages come through for that. So the first card that we have is the Six of Swords. Next, we have the Sun, Two of Swords in reverse, the Nine of Wands, and the Fool in reverse. Okay, so Scorpio, what do we got going on for the month of July? So how I'm going to be reading this is that I usually read in chronological order. So usually the beginning is going to be the beginning of the month, middle of the month, and end of the month. Okay, so you guys have the Six of Swords here. So what's interesting about the Six of Swords is that this is all about movement, like kind of like forward movement, usually like moving on from something. A lot of this tends to deal with like the past even, kind of just like you're no longer allowing the past, either holding you back, kind of a thing, or just like, you know what, you're ready to just kind of take the next step accordingly. Like you guys are just kind of ready to move on, like you're tired of dealing. I don't want to say necessarily, okay, sorry, probably saying tired was maybe the wrong thing to say. But just that you're pretty much ready to just let the past be the past. And it's almost like, you know what, I'm ready to start this new journey ahead. So this is where, that forward movement is, because if you notice here in the imagery, they're moving on, they're moving away. So they've got all their things packed and they're ready to go. Okay. So that's what I see for a lot of you guys at the beginning of month, that you're definitely moving on from something. Now, for some of you, this might actually be a real move. So if you have found a house in which you're moving into, or you're contemplating about moving, that can be very significant in that regard as well. Okay, but there's definitely a positive outcome with this. I feel like for a lot of you, if you have been kind of hanging on something from the past, or if you've been dealing with a lot of issues from the past, then this is going to be very beneficial for you to move on, okay? Because we've got the Sun card here. So the Sun card is all about like abundance, new beginnings, fresh start, right? So this to me, really makes sense that, you guys would have almost like that feeling of like, I'm just, today's a new day. We're going to start anew, and I'm going to be hopeful, okay? So that's what's really exciting, about the beginning of the month here. It's almost like kind of coming to terms with, where you're at and ready to kind of start this change, okay? Okay, so what's interesting though, as we kind of like look into, like the middle and end of the month, is I feel like for some of you, there's going to be a little bit of back and forth. I feel like there's going to be a little bit of wavering. Okay. Now, I feel like at the beginning, as I mentioned, there's a lot of, wanting to let go of the past, or to make this necessary change for yourself. And it's a definitely exciting feeling for many of you to just kind of like let it go and almost like be, I don't want to say rid of it, but just kind of rid of that negative feeling that maybe has harbored you from, your past experience. But as we continue through the month, I definitely feel like there's going to be a little bit of challenges along the way that might cause you guys to kind of go back and forth a little bit. Now, the reason why I say that is because you have the Two of Swords here and the Fool in reverse. Now, when these are in reversal, it's more so like not really paying as much attention to detail as you should. That's kind of like the message that I get with that, because the Fool in reverse is all about not being too careless, or trying not to be too careless, because when the Fool's in reverse, it's almost like you just kind of do things just to do them, either as like a distraction, or just like being kind of naive about certain situations, because it's just like, I'd rather not really give it much thought, or I'd rather really not be as careful as I should be, just because I mean, and for some people, if depending on the severity of your situation that you're dealing with here, it could almost be in a sense of just to try to like numb the pain. So you just kind of do things without thinking, but that could potentially be harmful for you. So definitely keep that in mind at the end of the month, because I definitely see there is going to be a bit of challenge here. But with the Nine of Wands, which one thing I really do want to point out with this is that this is all about being close to completion. So meaning like you are a tough person, like you're somebody who has gone through the thick of it, and you continue to rise above it. Now, it's normal in life to feel like, how much more can I take? Okay. And that's kind of what I get with that sense with this Nine of Wands here, is like, you're like, "Ugh, I'm almost at my wit's end." But the good news is, because you're so close to this sense of completion, and you've got the Sun card here, which I feel like whenever the Sun card pops up into any reading, it's going to outweigh the bad. It's always going to be more positive than negative. So definitely don't take this reading as a negative, because like I said, there's going to be some challenges for sure in the way. But that might just be because of what has, kind of lingered, that you've tried to let go. So, keep that in mind. Remember, this reading, nothing is set in stone. So if there's something about this that is not really, that you don't want necessarily to come to fruition, because, you don't, if you're trying to let go of the past, you want it to stay in the past, then keep that in mind. Almost like kind of remind yourself of what you're going to do to try to better yourself for your future, or how you're going to be able to move on, how you're going to let it go. Okay. Really think about those things, because I think what happens here is like, if we don't necessarily address it, or we kind of turn a blind eye to it, like with the Two of Swords here, then that's when things start to slowly creep back up into our lives that we thought we had already dealt with. Okay. So definitely, again, take what resonates. That is something that I really want to make clear, especially because this is a general reading. But because we are talking to all the Scorpios, I really want to emphasize that, if there's something here that doesn't really sit well with you, or you're not too, thrilled about having to, I don't want to say like relive, but have to feel like, the situation is still lingering, you can obviously make the conscious efforts that you need to change that. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to our Oracle cards. Maybe we can get a few more messages here. So the first cards that we have, these are from the Magical Mermaids and Dolphin Oracle. We have time to move on. It's time to let go of the old and worn out so that the new can come in. Very fitting here, okay? So as I mentioned, this is all about forward movement, letting go from the past. That Six of Swords card here, 100% just that. So knowing that this is the time to let go, okay, and allow the new, okay, new beginnings, the Sun here, all of this spot on, like let this go so that way the new can come in, okay? Next, we have Healing Heart. You're a powerful healer. Keep up the great work. Okay. So for some of you, yes, this is definitely going to cause, to heal your heart. For many of you that are dealing with something from the past, I think there has been some anguish, some heartache with that. And this is basically, telling you this is a time to heal. This is a time for you to kind of step into your new sense of self, to where you can start to heal, and doing everything that you can to heal that. As I mentioned, you guys are very strong-willed people. Okay. And I feel because you've kind of been through possibly a lot in your life, the ups and downs, but you've always remained on top of everything in a way, like you you find a way to keep fighting is basically what I'm trying to say, with that Nine of Wands card. So this healing heart, I think, really kind of speaks to you as a person. Like, even though you've been through it, you always find a way to rise above it. And this is just another, another cycle that you have to deal with, another obstacle. Okay. But you are capable of healing that. All right. So next we have protection. You, your loved ones, and your possessions are safe and protected by heaven. Beautiful. So if you're worried about anything that has to do with you starting anew, kind of like starting over, so to speak, if you're worried about like your loved ones in this process because maybe you put other people first rather than yourself, this is a good reminder that, you know what, everyone's going to be fine. This is a time for you to really kind of focus on yourself, find a way to kind of stay level-headed, focus. You don't have to worry about everyone else. They'll be fine. Okay. This is a good time to just focus on you. All right. So let's take a look. The other cards we have. So we have the moon in reverse. This is, I can see clearly now. The fog is lifting. You'll soon have the answers you need to make an informed decision. Oh, absolutely. So again, this is going to give you all the clarity that you need. Okay, Scorpio. So if you are, as I mentioned, you're moving on from something, this might give you, you'll start to see things a little bit more clear as you move away from this fog, okay? If you felt like you've kind of been stuck there for a minute, you haven't really been able to kind of make sense of things for a while, just know that if you're making the necessary steps to move forward to healing, okay? So that's definitely what we see here. All right, we have the 7th house. So this says one-on-one. A change for the better is taking place in your relationships, both personal and professional. Beautiful, okay? So I love the 7th house because this does deal with relationships specifically. It's all about balance. So the fact that we've got, some change going on here within your relationships, I think is also really important as well. So if this does have to be or deal with a family matter, relationship matter, something from your past that you haven't necessarily healed from, this is the time where you're able to do that. Okay, Scorpio? All right, next we have, what is this? The 2nd house, and this is in reverse. So this says, let go of what you no longer need. Okay, yep. Let go, move on. Here we go. Ask yourself, have I become too attached to my things? Clean your house and clear the clutter. Okay, so Scorpio, this also might just be a good thing for you to do to kind of help with your healing process, your self-care. Okay, whether this means to actually literally clean your home or just kind of clear something of yours that maybe you've been neglecting in your home. I think once you start to do those little things, you'll start to feel better because you're not carrying any of that extra baggage or any of that extra weight, so to speak. You're letting that go. And once you kind of start to do that, then mentally you'll start to kind of clear the clutter, if you will, that's going on from what you've hung on to. Okay. So next we have for your Moonology Oracle cards. We have, sorry for the lack of focus there, guys. Okay, so this is Void of Course Moon. Says nothing will come of this situation. Okay, so I think what this kind of more so means is that if you have been having a hard time letting go of this or kind of contemplating like, well, what if, as I mentioned in the middle of the month, there might be a little bit of back and forth on your part about whether or not either you were able to let this go fully or if you're wondering if you made the right decision or right choice. Just know that from nothing coming of this, that I think would be more so an answer to your what if questions, that nothing would have came of that. Okay, you're on the path in which you need to be right now. So you need to kind of follow that instead and don't worry about anything that is out of your control. Okay, so that's more so how I interpret that. And then you guys have the 3rd quarter moon. Adjustments are required. Okay, absolutely. So the adjustments here, I believe, are more so you being able to let go of your past situation, okay, and focusing more so, again, on yourself, on your future. Those are going to be the adjustments that will be beneficial to you as you continue, finding, I feel like, yourself again here, okay? All right, next we have is distance. So this says divide, separation, discord. Okay. So what's interesting about this is that I feel like this is going to be speaking again more so to what you're letting go of. So there is going to feel a bit of a divide, a bit of a separation from, the feelings or maybe even people, person, somebody that you're letting go of that no longer serves you. Okay. So, yes, there's definitely going to be distance. There's definitely going to be a discord in regards to that. However, think about it. Is this going to be beneficial for you in the long run, Scorpio? Okay. So, that's really what you kind of have to kind of keep in mind as you start this new journey or start this process. Next, we have community, contribute, communication, and tribe. Okay, I love this. So this is going to be all about you. I feel like kind of finding confidence or confiding in others around you, like your soul tribe, so to speak. So being around close friends or close family, people who get you, people who understand kind of like what you're going through, sharing with them, confiding in them. This is where I feel like where that healing will begin and will start. Okay. It's all about communication. So whether this means actually talking to your friends or actually going to see someone and talking to them to kind of help you move on, definitely take that time to do so, because this is all about communication. Don't keep things bottled up, and think that, oh, I can handle this on my own. I got this. I don't need to talk to no one. No, don't necessarily be like that, because for many of you, this situation that we're talking about here in the past, this might have been something that has weighed very heavy on you. And again, to kind of get to this point to where you're just now being like, okay, I'm ready to let it go. It's not easy. It's not something that you could just flip a switch on, right? So, definitely find solace and, or, find comfort in being able to confide in other people that I feel like will be able to kind of uplift you and continue to motivate you as well as you continue with this. Okay. All right. So next we have freedom. Let's try to get this to focus. This says, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Absolutely. Okay. I guarantee you, Scorpio, like once you let go of this past situation, you're going to feel free. You're going to feel so much better. Like I said earlier, there's going to be like a weight lifted off your shoulder from that. So that's why I love to see that there. Change. Absolutely. Like the main theme of this month is change. So I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Okay, so again, good reminder there that this is going to be all about forward movement, okay, being able to move on. And your last oracle cards, these are the Sea Melody oracle cards. We have Voyage. So this says, set sail on a new course. Okay, so all about starting over, moving on. Okay. And then we have Choose Wisely. Be discerning. You don't have to keep everything in your net. Ooh, I love this. Okay, so in regards to you don't have to keep everything in your net. Again, I feel like this is more so about like you don't have to hang on to every little thing. Okay, you don't have to hang on to the past. You don't have to hold on or hold in all your emotions or your feelings. You can choose to share that with others, or you can choose to let it go if you're ready. Okay, so long as you're ready and you know what's coming for you. I mean, like I mentioned, Scorpio, you guys have that sun card. I mean, this is all about that new beginning, that fresh start. Okay, why wouldn't you want to move towards this? This is within your grasp. You just have to be able to want to go after it and get it. Okay, so Scorpio, that was your reading for the month of July. Definitely let me know if this resonated with you. I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this reading, please go ahead and consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.